Hey guys, FlyeGirl VSG coming into you with my year in review 2014. I'll try to keep this short. I have so much stuff that I did this year. It was such a great year, and I wanted to talk a little bit about what kind of my big plans are in terms of 2015, not just in terms of traveling, but other things. So, I realized that 2014 was a huge travel year for me, so I just kind of wanted to talk about that, and then because there were NSVs at every single place also. And also some of the trips I plan to take in 2015, because a big part of my life is I like to travel, and I don't really do a lot of international travel or anything like that, but I like to, hit different places and things like that. So in 2014, and then I'm going to hit some of my favorite NSVs I had also, because that's awesome. 2014, it started out with, I went to the coast for Valentine's Day weekend with my guy, and that was really fun. We stayed in a new hotel, and we're actually going to make it kind of a yearly thing. So we're doing it again this year. It was one of my gifts to him, was to pay for the weekend for 2015. Sorry. So I have my laptop balanced precariously on my knees. So we'll see how this goes. In March, I went to Ashland, which is where it's in Southern Oregon. It's about 5 hours drive. It's about 300 miles from where I live. And one of my girlfriends from college lives there, and one of my friends that I used to work with, we still work for the same company, but we don't work for the same team anymore, also lives in Medford, and so I got to visit both of them. I also went to Mexico in March. We went to Puerto... It was a little private beach between Playa del Carmen and Cancun. And we spent a day in Cozumel, and we were there, I think, 7 full nights. So we were there 8 days, 7 nights. And I went with my good friend and some of her family and my boyfriend and partner at the time, a girlfriend at the time. So, yeah, we stayed in this beautiful hut-like house, and we had a pool, and we were right on the ocean, and it was incredible. That was a major, awesome trip. Also in April, I think it was March, or April. I think it was in March, actually. We had a book club weekend in Beaver, which is about 2 hours away from my house, towards the coast, kind of. And we did book club there. We do that once or twice a year. It's kind of a girls group, but I mean, my boyfriend was a part of it for like 1 minute, so it's kind of become a girls book club. But so we went to, my friend has property there, and so we went and stayed there, and that was the first hike that I had done post-op. Obviously the big NSV for, there wasn't any huge NSVs for Valentine's Day weekend, but the big NSVs for Mexico were just walking and, like snorkeling. That was a huge deal because I have a big fear of deep water. So snorkeling and walking and laying around in my bathing suit all day and not really caring and just like being up for adventure and doing whatever. That was a big deal. But at book club, that was the first hike that I took post-op, and it was amazing. I felt really good about it. It was only about 1 or 2 miles, so it wasn't super long, but it was pretty steep. It was all the way down and then all the way back up at the end. And I went with some friends, and it was really fun. And then also in April, we had a -1 weekend, which is what my friend calls when you go, because most of my friends are gay, and so, when you have same-sex partners, you can't really call it a girls' weekend if you wanted to actually have a weekend without your partner. So, easy for me, because my partner's a dude, but it was just a couple of girls, and then we just kind of left our significant others, whoever they may be, at home. It was a weird weekend, but the NSVs for that weekend, I don't really know. It was a weird weekend dynamically in terms of the people that were there, but I enjoyed my time with the people that I knew, and yeah, it was good. I went shopping. I think I bought some stuff at Old Navy that weekend, and I was really excited. I remember being just like an extra large at that point, and I couldn't even believe it. So I think that was my big NSV for that trip. Also in April, I went to Vegas for a week. One of my very good friends lives in Vegas, and he actually lives just outside of Vegas in Henderson. And he is actually, I've known him since I was 14. He was my very, like, first real boyfriend in high school. Bless his heart. And we did Red Rock Canyon. We did Nelson, which is a mining town, and we went to Lake Las Vegas. So there was a ton of walking, a ton of scenery, very little strip, but we did some shows. So the NSVs there were just like, we went to the Monte Carlo pool. I walked around Monte Carlo in my bathing suit, and like, I'd been losing weight at this point, but I'm only 4 months out of surgery. It was so fun. I had such a blast with him. And he is such a good host. And so it was fantastic. And then also, so those were the two things in April. And then in May, I went back to Vegas for a girls' trip for a friend of a friend of mine, but more of a friend of a friend, her birthday. And she invited me. And so we went. I'm not sure what the NSVs were for that trip, other than I had more energy than most everyone else. Also that I spent like 3 full days at the pool just hanging out. I did get hit on for the first time, like maybe in my life, at Vegas that trip, and it was excessive. Like I didn't quite know. This person hit on me off and on for like 4 hours. Like I didn't. It was bizarre. I'll just put it that way. Let's see, what else did I do? So in June, some of these may get mixed up a little bit. In June, I went to the river again. I don't think I did any hiking. I think it was just kind of a mellow weekend. But it was fun. I count that as a weekend away because I usually take a half a day off. 4th of July weekend, I went to Orcas Island with my boyfriend, and we also went to Port Townsend. We drove through Port Townsend and ended up in Port Angeles because we ended up leaving a day early because it was raining. So the NSV there was mostly that we went to the Olympic National Forest and we did a hike there, and it was so fucking beautiful. Orcas Island was cool and fun, and we did some fun things on the island and stuff in terms of like beer and wine hopping and just kind of like hanging out and playing cards and being lazy and fun because it was raining, so there was not a ton we could do. But once we got off the island, we had a blast in Port Angeles and swim and all that stuff. We went to this wildlife preservation area, but also where they have like wild animals, like so we got to see like lions and tigers and bears. Oh my, all that stuff. So that was super, super fun. But also we went into the Olympic National Forest for like half a day and did some hiking and driving, and that was incredible. And we did a ton of wine tasting there too. Not necessarily at NSV, but it was amazing. We also celebrated my boyfriend's birthday that weekend because his birthday is close to about the time we were there. So then in Seattle, or in August, Kent and my boyfriend and I went to Seattle, and again, the big NSV there was walking. We did a ton of walking. For me, having had 2 years of intensive foot pain due to plantar fasciitis and heel spurs, the walking, it may not seem like a big deal, but it was. The fact that I wanted to do it, could do it, had the energy to do it, physically could handle it, and I wasn't sore or tired afterwards is a big deal. We did 1 whole day walking around Belltown. We did a whole second day walking around. We drove kind of north a little bit and did some stuff, but then we spent a whole night doing the Queen Anne area, and then in the morning we walked from the bottom of Queen Anne all the way to the top. And then we did the underground tour and walked around kind of that downtown financial area. And so we did a ton of walking, and it was fantastic. And it was a great weekend. It was a long weekend, and we did 3 days, I think, 2 nights, 3 days. It was fun. Let's see. In September, I went to I think I went to Medford in September just for a weekend with Kent. I don't remember there being any NSVs other than I saw one of my friends who lives in Medford for the first time, and she was blown away by how little I was at the time. And then I went to Nehalem in September too, and I went with my brother. That's where my father lives, is in Nehalem, which is towards the coast, so about 2 hours away. And the NSV there was, we also did some hiking, mostly flat, kind of nature preservation area. But again, I had more energy to do more, way more than they did. And not really an NSV, but I remember that trip being particularly special because my brother and I had some really good heart-to-heart talks, which we usually do. I mean, we're really close, and I adore him. But he's 10 years younger, we had a really nice time together once kind of everyone had gone to bed, and spending time with my dad is always good. But I count all of those as trips, And then also in September, September was a busy month. Also in September, I went to the Redwoods with my boyfriend, and we spent we spent 2 nights in Crescent City. So it was only a 5-day trip, but we spent 2 nights in Crescent City, and we drove. So that's about 6 hours. But we took our time. We went to a winery. We went to a brew pub. We had dinner. And we stayed in a cabin at an HOA in Crescent City. Crescent City is a shit town. I had no idea. I thought it was going to be on the coast. It's right below the border of Oregon. Like, I thought it was going to be beautiful. It's not. There's nothing there. There is a prison. So don't go there. If you can help it. Camping there is fine. We stayed in the cabin. The cabin was heated. It was fantastic. We had a fire pit. It was amazing. Just north of Crescent City. So we were in Crescent City. There's one bar in Crescent City. There is a lighthouse that's pretty cool, and there's some good restaurants, but there is nothing fucking else to do in Crescent City. So we spent 2 days there, but we had a whole day of hiking. We probably went on 7 miles over the course of 3 or 4 hikes just in one day. So that was amazing. And then we drove south to Eureka and spent a whole other day hiking. Again, probably another little less, maybe 3 to 5 miles that day. We did the Trees of Mystery. We did the drive-through tree, which is not a hike. It's really actually super lame, but it was fun. And then we did a whole day of beer and wine tasting in the area of Eureka and kind of that Northern California area. So that was really, really, really an amazing trip. Kent and I got along great, and the hiking was amazing. There were so many NSVs on that trip. I wrote a whole list down at some point, but we don't have time for that. That's a whole other video. I should have done it back in September, but I didn't. Then in October, I went to Seattle again. Obviously, there was the Pacific Northwest meet and greet. The NSV there was keeping up with everyone, walking again, lots of walking. I did not. I also had my first H&M shopping experience. I bought this sweater, which is the same sweater that Lauren Losing was wearing on that trip. This is a medium. It's enormous. I think. Speaking of vanity sizing, Lauren did a video not too long ago, a couple days ago, about vanity sizing, and I definitely think they have that at H&M, because I guess I'm sort of a medium, but mediums aren't huge on me, and this sweater is huge on me. I also got shitty fucking wasted that weekend and was spent, so Friday night and then Saturday I was spent just being super hungover. But I did all the activities and I troopered through, and sometimes that's all you gotta do. That's all you can do. And then Sunday was a great day. We went to Space Needle and just hung out. So it was fun. It was a good trip. And then also in October, I spent a week in Arizona. I went and saw my friend Tessa, also known as Go Teams VSG. And we went to Jerome in 2013. So this year it was Bisbee, Arizona. Again, tons of walking. I think the NSV there was just I went to the gym while I was at her house, like staying with her in El Mirage, and just tons of walking in Bisbee and shopping and getting some activity in and doing some fun things, but also just like dressing up for Halloween and we didn't really dress in costumes, but we went out and we drank and we had fun, and something kind of I usually don't do on holidays like that, so it was fun. Really, really fun time. Anything you do with Tessa is going to be a good time pretty much. And then in November, I also went to Medford again for just to visit my friends, and I flew down that time. It was more expensive, but and I spent a night with my friend Helena, and I spent a night with my friend Gina, and it was really, really fun. And I didn't really do anything active there. It's more a relaxation trip, but I did do some shopping and bought some really effing cute workout pants, and I wear them all the time. Actually, I don't wear them all the time because I love them so much. I don't want to ruin them. So that's kind of my travel recap. Some of my notable mentions that I did this year was in February, the first time I went out after surgery. I went 80s dancing. I got picked up. I guess that was the first time I got picked up on. I was picked up on by by the team that plays by an NFL player. I think either the Baltimore something or the Philadelphia Eagles. I think it was the Eagles. Anyway, a football player hit on me And that was crazy. And like asked for my number. It was crazy. I don't know what he was doing in Portland at an 80s dance club, but anyway, that was a really fun night. I also did, most of my notable mentions are all like pub crawls because they're really fun. I did a division pub crawl with some friends. That was super, super fun. Great food, great wine, and just really good. One of my best nights of the year. My whole birthday week was amazing. Kent took me out. We went to see Sarah Bareilles in concert. My girlfriend Jenna and I had a co-party. It was great. I got to spend time with my family. Really, really good stuff. Also, I would say one of the highlights is Chris and Sarah Waffles' wedding reception was super, super fun. I got to see some people and meet people for the first time and just dance. And they had a photo booth, and it was just a great time. One of my best nights of the year for sure. I also did a couple wine tours that were super fun. Labor Day wine tour, I went with my best good friend Howard and his fiance. And then Black Friday, of course, you guys saw pictures of that. I went with my friend Rochelle and my boyfriend. I also hosted a fall night here a couple weeks ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. That was a huge hit. Super, super fun. Should never do something like that on a weeknight again because I had to kick everyone out at like 11:30. My boyfriend had already gone to bed, bless his heart. And it was getting wild. And I was like, we got to cut this off. But it was fun. Super, super fun. And I made the pho from scratch. I'm just going to say it was really great. And also, even though this was earlier in the year, Ingrid Michaelson, I went to go see that concert with my friend Jessica, and she's crazy pants in a good way, and we had a blast. The concert was great. Some woman ended up painting our faces. We ended up bar hopping downtown. It was super, super fun. Some of the NSV stuff, obviously, this is not an NSV. This is an SV, which is that in the last year, 2014, not only did I lose 100 pounds, but I got under 200 pounds. So I got to Wonderland and at the 100-pound loss mark, which I'm really very proud of. Also, I went from a size, like a tight size 24 or 22, 24 shirt and a 24 pant to basically a size 12, 14 pant and a medium large shirt. I also lost a half a size in my foot size, which is cool. I'm also super proud of completing the 12-week weightlifting challenge, which just ended like 10 days ago or so. I'm super proud of what I accomplished in that. Not just in, I didn't really lose a lot of weight. I only lost like 4 or 5 pounds, like 3 or 4 or 5 pounds, but I lost a ton of inches. And not just that, not just the shape of my body, not just those measurable accomplishments, but more of the psychological aspect of getting to the gym when I didn't want to, making those 4 days of weightlifting happen, pushing myself, going further than I thought I could, backing off when I needed to, respecting my body if I felt hurt or the pain. I learned a lot about myself and what I'm capable of in those 12 weeks. And I have to say, even though I'm pretty sure this person doesn't watch any videos of mine or maybe videos in general, but Andy VSG, who lives in Australia somewhere or New Zealand maybe, but I think Australia, gave me the program, and it really did change my life. I worked those 12 weeks really hard, and I'm really proud of it. Let's see here. Oh yeah. And just part of that is that I feel like fitness, I did work out, I did fitness, I did stuff like that, but I feel like in the months before, but especially those 12 weeks, it has become like an integral part of my life. I've taken the last week off. I will say really quick that, I took the last week off of working out mainly because I've been eating and drinking too much, and I can't, like, I'm super lethargic. So I put in a 60-minute video today of like Ben Harper, who I love, but I put in like the hardest video I have of his. And since I hadn't been working out for a week, and the week before that I did pretty easy workouts, I only got 16 minutes through it. It was fucking so hard. So note to self, if you haven't worked out in a while, start small. Build up. I would say some other NSVs, obviously my overall fitness level, just what I'm capable of, my resting heart rate has gone down. I'm stronger, I'm faster, I'm more fit. I consider myself a fitness person now. I don't consider myself just someone who goes to the gym. Like, I consider that as, like I said before, part of my life. The time that I went to Costco and I got picked up off the ground by an old friend of my mom's, biggest NSV probably of the year. Big deal. I've also lost 10% of my body fat. I'm kind of confused by that, but apparently when I started this process, I was at 52% body fat. Now I'm at 42%. I would have thought that would be lower. I think that This is per the data at my surgery center. I think that they admitted to themselves that they have some faulty machinery, but I mean, I guess that just goes to show you I've got more weight to lose. But still, 10% is 10%, so I'll take, it's big. Overall, NSVs being able to walk more, hike more, move more, have more energy, shop at regular size stores, that also one of the big NSVs of the year. Crossing my legs and being comfortable. Crossing my legs underneath a table at a restaurant. I know that seems small. Big deal. It's a big deal to me. I have bones, not just hip bones or rib bones or collar bones, but I've got elbow bones. I've got jaw bones, as it turns out. I've got knee bones. They're all in there and I can see them. So that's super cool. I also can wear dresses and skirts without chafing, which is always something that I hated wearing dresses and skirts before. I would not do it because I chafed so much. So that's it. So that's kind of my, I'm sure obviously I have like 17 million more NSVs, but I'm already at 20 minutes. 2014 was a great, fantastic, fucking amazing year. So I could probably talk for 45 minutes on what a great year it was, but I won't. I'm also super happy about all the friendships that I've made in the community. I won't name names because I never like to feel left out, so I don't want anybody else to feel left out. But I'm pretty sure you all know who they are. Most everybody is pretty much that answer. I just appreciate all the connections that I've made and all the support that I've received throughout the community. And I'm really grateful for having that in common. I have some other personal friends who have had surgery or who are having surgery. And because of the background that I have with those people, sometimes it can be a little different. And not bad, just different. So anyway, I appreciate that. I also appreciate my regular friends and family who have watched my videos throughout the last year. It means a lot to me that you guys care enough to keep watching this. I mean, how boring am I, right? But it's helped me so much process through everything. Not just, hold on, my butt is falling asleep. Oh, okay, so much better. Now you can't see me as well, but that's okay. Not just process through my emotions and process through fucking hormone changes and food choices and drinking choices and all that stuff, but just to share my successes and my hardships and my, just for someone to be on board with me that knows me in real life. Like, that's really amazing. So in terms of 2015, I've already talked about my resolutions on my last video, so I won't cover that. I definitely am going to go to, I've already for months have had my cruise and the LSFA stuff all booked and planned. So that's all set. And so that's going to be 8 days, because it's going to be Friday through the following probably Saturday or Sunday. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm going Valentine's Day with my boyfriend. My boyfriend, as a gift to me for Christmas, gave us a weekend away at Lake Chelan. I think that's how you say it, Chelan in Washington. I'm really excited about that, because even though it's going to be cold and probably rainy, like I'm going to do stuff on the lake. I'm going to canoe. I'm going to kayak. I don't know if he will, but I will. And we'll make a romantic weekend out of it. It comes with like an appetizer and a free bottle of wine and some good stuff. So we'll probably do that come March. There's a couple other trips I want to take, but financially, I may have to space it out throughout the year. I really want to go to Dallas. I have a friend, a personal friend, an ex-coworker or ex-boss actually of mine and his wife that live there. And I have not met them, but I've known them for like 7 years. And they're moving to Nicaragua, and I'd like to visit them in Dallas and get to a tour of that area before they move, and of course visit them in Nicaragua, obviously. But I don't want them to just think I'm going to Nicaragua just to hang out in Nicaragua. I want to go and hang out with them because they're actually really good friends. He's a really good friend of mine. I have not really talked much with his wife, but she seems lovely. And I'm also going to make an effort to get out to the East Coast this year. Because I have a drive to go and visit VSG Bulldog or Lindsay. So I think that would be really fun. So she mentioned going to New York. I mentioned going and staying with her in Delaware. But maybe Atlantic City. What do you think, Linz? Atlantic City? What about Philadelphia? I've never done that. So anyway, I was kind of looking at places that were kind of near her. I feel like I should get away from this lighting. Anyway, whatever. I'm almost done with this anyway. But that may have to become like more in the fall, just because summertime on the East Coast doesn't really sound that awesome unless we're at a lake or a river or ocean or something like that and stay somewhere that we can be in the water. You know what I mean? So the heat isn't so affecting me because I don't like it when it's humid. Of course, Dallas and May would be humid too, would be humid too, I'm sure. It probably would be fucking hell. But I'll do it because I'm smaller now and don't sweat as much, so it might be all right. My year in review, my NSVs, notable mentions, things I'm looking forward to for 2015. I wish you all a happy, wonderful new year. I hope that your year 2014 was everything you wanted it to be. And if it wasn't, I hope that you learned something and that you did get something out of your year. And if it was, awesome, kudos to you. I hope 2015, no matter what, is even better. And, keep on keeping on, you guys. We're doing great. All of us are doing great. And just keep it fly out there. Have a wonderful New Year's Eve. Be safe. I love you. Mwah.